Okay, so this is evaluation number one for the project. It's coming quite late, but um, I guess I should probably talk about this. I kind of struggled to get work done earlier in the project, so that's why I haven't made anything up until this point. But this is the first evaluation that I'm doing. Now that there is a substantial amount of work to actually be able to evaluate and reflect on. Um, so, target audience. Um, the employed slash unemployed slash in education question was confusing. Um, should have been set out differently in order to give clear results and make it clearer to those answering. Um, there was it was multiple choice, or it was you could only choose one, I believe, which didn't really make it very clear because you could be in education and also employed, or you could be in education and unemployed, sort of thing. So it should have been multiple choice. Anyway, um, so that's just a little thing. Gained a lot of information overall about. Bless me. Gained a lot of information overall about a possible target audience from the survey, and the results seem fairly diverse and accurate when compared to the other source we used previously. I'm happy with the results I found, and I'm confident we can now use this effectively in order to reference everything else we may want to do during the course of the project, such as looking at graphics and researching other possible ideas. Sponsors. I did some work on sponsors, so I looked at what a sponsor is, what kind of sponsors there are, and how to get one. I looked at potential sponsors that would fit our brand and our event, and then made a pitch for this sponsor and what they could provide for us. The pitch wasn't long enough and not developed enough. I feel as if the Dragons don't have enough to offer to be able to appeal to a sponsor just yet, as the reach we have across all platforms is quite low, meaning the incentives to sponsoring us are low. To help this, I will work on advertising and increase our outreach, and then can expand on the benefits to sponsoring us. The biggest thing with the pitch is kind of explaining why people should want to sponsor us, but there aren't enough reasons right now. There isn't enough incentive to a brand to sponsor us, as we aren't getting much engagement across all platforms. Realistically, we probably need around 10,000 views a week across all social medias in order to even think about getting a sponsor. Otherwise, there isn't really much point for a sponsor to sponsor us. Um, Promo image. So I made some promo images. So me and Christiana communicated with each other, and she asked me to make some posts for our social media accounts, Instagram and Twitter. Um, so these were the first two designs. This was the first design that we did, or that I did. Um, the first drafts focused on the colour scheme gathered from the target audience with red and the Dragons logo, as that was part of the target audience that I decided. It was likely going to be people who liked the Dragons, and that is a colour that is associated with the WWE and WrestleMania. So I did a fight card, everything that's going to be on the card, with the colour red being the primary colour, black and white to fit WrestleMania logo, and the Dragons logo up top. Um, Me and Christiana agreed that the first promo image had too much writing, so I made another with less writing and focused on the primary info. So that was the name of the event, where it was going to be streamed, and what the date was going to be. I also added that fire at the bottom just to try and fill up a little bit more space. It makes sense. Dragon breathes fire. Um, After receiving the logo Iron made, I changed the color scheme to suit. So then we went to this blue and green kind of color, with a gradient to match the logo as well. Um, so that was the new design that we went for. After receiving the logo I made, I changed the color scheme to suit. I also edited the bulkier text section, as I'd misunderstood the structure of WWE cards as per Aaron's input. Additionally, I made a template for more possible social media posts that is waiting to be approved by Christiana. I feel as if the development that I made through evaluating my work as I went was very well thought out and has improved my work greatly. I feel as if the development from this to this has been really good. I knew that there needed to be less text, and although there is certain amounts of text which have to be kept, such as the title of the event and the fights that are going to be on the card, I do feel as if that is a much more improved version than this one. I think it looks nicer as well with the color scheme, changing the color scheme to fit rather than keeping the red background and giving it a gradient. I think that looks really nice. Um, and then this was the other idea. So the picture frame, yeah, or the picture of the fighter is what would go in the black box, and that would that's what the post would look like basically. So that's another possible post that we could put up on our social medias. Although we don't have anything else, that is just something that we could do. And since there's 10 fights, we could do 10 of those posts to take up 10 days of social media. Um, as you do need daily content, I would argue. Communication. There has been an extremely large amount of communication required between me and Christiana because her role as social media manager and my role as advertisement manager require working together to ensure that we promote as effectively as possible. Um, we had a disagreement due to lack of understanding about the overlap in our roles. Um, we resolved this disagreement through a meeting with Rob and the use of ChatGPT to um, explain the differences in our roles. And in future, to avoid this happening again, we need to rediscuss each of our roles and make it clear to each other what our roles entail and what each of us should be trying to do and what others should expect the others to be doing. Um, Given all of this, though, I have made some personal development. Um, so across doing all this work, I've learned how to gain a sponsorship, which could be crucial to me individually and what I want to do, as I may like to pursue content creation and develop my own brand. Additionally, I have learned how to communicate effectively with teammates and how to avoid these issues again, which I will also need if I pursue content creation. As I need to eventually find someone to help manage my content output because I won't be able to do it by myself. I will require a second person. So I think that everything that I've done is going to help me build up an audience and would help further me if I am to pursue content creation. So I think these are valuable skills, and I feel like I've grown, and I feel like my work has also gotten better. And I know what I've got to do next. So, yeah.